Good morning, everyone. It is Monday here in the Philippines. Hi, everyone back home. Happy Sunday. And I'm Dr. Shalona McFarland, and I am going to talk to you today about chiropractic and children. So I have had a lot of people this week since I've been back that are very happy that I'm back, but that have been asking about chiropractic and their kids. And so some of the different things that chiropractic can help with your children. So general growth. If you want your child to grow better, stronger, healthier, then chiropractic is a great place to start that journey and to start them being healthier in general for the rest of their lives. I personally have been adjusted since I was an infant, since I was born, and I came out pretty okay. And I've done the same thing with my children. As soon as they put them in my hands, I was working on them. I have been many people's favorite aunt who went with them to the hospital to work on their children as soon as they were born, and they've all come out just fine. So when I say birth to earth, I really mean birth to earth. I will treat everybody, any age, any capacity. It can help. So some of the other things it can help with, especially with young children, with infants, it can stop colic in its tracks. It can stop chronic ear infections because a lot of that is just a miscommunication in the body from the birthing process. The birthing process is the most traumatic thing you'll ever go through unless you're hit by a bus. And that's a nice natural birth with nobody helping. When you get into C-sections and pulling and forceps and vacuuming and epidurals, those are all complications. Those are all things that should not be a daily basis kind of thing to have a child. Giving birth should be easy and natural for the most part. Uh, if you get chiropractic care throughout your pregnancy, you're more than likely going to have a much easier, happier, healthier birthing process than you would otherwise. So those are a couple of things for infants. You can also correct cranials. So at least I can. I know there's a few docs out there that like to do cranials as well. And cranial therapy can correct so many different things. They can correct misshapen heads. It can correct the palate. So if the baby isn't sucking well or can't latch on or can't open their little mouths, that's all cranial issues. That's all things that can be corrected with chiropractic care with the right person at home there. Children get sick less when they get regular chiropractic care. They have improved focus. They can focus better in life, in school, whatever they're doing. They have better performance. So if you have, the next world-renowned little gymnast pop out of you, then you might want to get them chiropractic care so that they can actually be the next world-renowned gymnast or swimmer or cyclist or whatever, Olympian, whatever. There's a reason why the most highly decorated Olympians in history have had a chiropractor in their back pocket. Hi, Melody. Because they know the value of that. They know the benefit of having a perfectly functioning body. You cannot ask an Olympic performance from a body that is not perfectly performing and perfectly functioning, or you're not going to get that Olympic medal, that Olympic performance out of that body, or dance, or whatever it is that you're doing. It's imperative that your body is performing like it's supposed to, mentally, physically, emotionally, all of that. So as emotional goes, children with emotional outburst issues, they do very well with chiropractic. ADHD, autism, all of those different issues that can happen, they can be corrected and helped with chiropractic care. Okay. Bedwetting, that can be helped. A lot of times the nerves that are going to the bladder are either overreactive, underreactive. They're not functioning like they're supposed to, and that's because the spine's out of alignment and it's putting pressure on that nerve, and the nerve is overfiring, or usually it's overfiring, and that's overstimulating the bladder, and it's causing them to bedwet, which can be excruciatingly embarrassing for a child, sometimes for a parent, but it's really the child that's having the problem there. Stomach aches. If you have a child that always has tummy aches, well, first off, look at their nutrition. That's usually a big piece of it. Secondly, get them adjusted. That's going to help. If the nerve going to the stomach is misfiring, then they're going to have stomach issues. They're going to have symptoms that something's not communicating well. And none of these mean that there's a drug or surgery deficiency. It just means that something isn't communicating well. And so it's our job to go in and help the body to communicate better. That's what I do as a doctor. I go in and I figure out what's going on, where it's coming from, and how to correct that. And it's usually pretty darn simple. Learning disabilities, as I mentioned earlier, that's a big one that can be helped with chiropractic. Of course, scoliosis. If you wait till you're grown to address your scoliosis, or if as a parent you wait till your child is grown to address the scoliosis, that's like waiting till the house is built to address the fact that it has no doors. It needs to be addressed as the process is happening, okay? So it's really important to get your kiddos in when they're little so that you can correct those curves while they're forming rather than after they're already formed. After they're already formed, it's much more difficult to correct that than it is when it's actually happening, okay? Asthma. Asthma is another big one for kids. Childhood asthma. My oldest boy had childhood asthma, and we kept it under control with chiropractic, acupuncture, essential oils, Himalayan salt, inhaling Himalayan salts. That he rarely had drugs in his system. I think it was twice that I am aware of. He was with his father for part of that, so that could have been different. And what else do I have written on here? Oh, the attitude. Yes, I have been known to give attitude adjustments. Chronic ear infections. I think I mentioned that, but that's a really important one too. For those of you who've been to me, you know I adjust ears. And I adjust ears because you can actually help reset the three little bones within the ears, the malleus, the stapes, and the incus. And you can help reset them, but you can also help reset the little bitty muscle. It's one of my favorite muscles in the body. It's called the tensor palatine. It's got this giant name, and it's this teeny tiny little muscle. And the tensor palatine is the muscle that goes around the eustachian tube, okay? So imagine if I have a tube here, and my hands are the tensor palatine. It's always pumping. Hi, Anita. Okay? Unless it's not. If the tensor palatine stops pumping closed, well, you've just closed your tube, right? Nothing can get through. That's when you get an inner ear infection, which there really isn't such a thing. It's that tube is closed, therefore the fluid that's constantly pumping into it can't get out. So it expands and it causes pain because the fluid can't get out. It's like a balloon. It's like it's going to pop, it's going to pop, it's going to pop, right? Okay, so you reset that ear, it starts pumping again. Okay, that helps the tensor palatine do its job. The other way it can get stuck is open. And that's when you hear that sound in your ear like the ocean, and you're like, God, what's wrong with my ear? And it just sounds weird. That tensor palatine has stopped in the open position. Okay. Again, you adjust the ear, starts pumping again, starts doing its job. The body is amazingly and wonderfully made. It is designed to be in a state of health, not a state of dis-ease. When we start our lives in a really, well, I don't know how to say it, but it's like if you start your lives in a battle, essentially, instead of natural birth with, a beautiful thing. I've been to many births of many species, and it's amazing every single time. But when you have complications, or when complications are created, and like cesareans and different things that, I mean, in this country, apparently cesareans are just like on the docket for Friday, or I don't know, but everybody's had them. And when you do that, when you start life that traumatically, it starts a process that, if it's not taken care of right then, snowballs. And by the time they usually get to me, they've got so many health problems. They got diabetes, they've got chronic migraines, they've got chronic back pain, they've got scoliosis, they've got, like, they have all of these different things going on. And if the people just understand that chiropractic is so vitally important for babies and for kids, that it stops all that snowball effect. Okay? It's like the 20 car pileup. The first car hits, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and they start hitting. Well, that first guy got hit 20 times instead of just once. The last guy only hit once, right? So the last guy's injuries are going to be just as significant as the first guy's, but the first guy's going to have more long-lasting problems because of that snowball effect, because he got hit so many times, because he's the one that started the process and everybody else just kept hitting. Okay? That's kind of what happens to our bodies. When we start the process with that big hit, then every little hit after that just keeps snowballing. All right, guys, so I hope that gives you some insight on chiropractic in kids. And it's done differently, obviously, than it is in adults. Just like I treat people differently than I do horses. I treat chihuahuas differently than I do horses or cows. So, just keep in mind that all of those things are different. The techniques are different. I have hundreds of different techniques because of my training, because I've done extensive training in lots of different areas. I can work with a lot of different issues. There's not much that I haven't seen yet. So, hope that helps. Good morning, everybody. Love you. It's great to see you guys checking in, and I hope that gave you some great information. And if you have any questions or anything, please shoot me a text, and, well, via Facebook, because I can't get them on my phone now. I'm in a different country. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. God bless you guys. Love you. I will talk to you next week.